The 32 things we learned from Week 15 of the 2024 NFL season. The number of wins the New York Giants have at home this season after losing 35-14 to the Baltimore Ravens. Also, the number of victories the G-men have since Week 5. The number of touchdowns scored in Thursday night's game, the first time this season when no one has visited the end zone, when the Los Angeles Rams beat the San Francisco 49ers 12-6. Also, Rams' W.R. Cooper Kupp recorded 0 receptions. The 49ers had no sacks, and LB Devondre Campbell refused to enter the game. Number of touchdown catches in 2024 for Arizona Cardinals Trey McBride, who now has 89 receptions this season. The number of times Kansas City Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes was sacked in their 21-7 win over the Cleveland Browns, breaking a streak of 13 sacks in the previous 3 games. However, Mahomes suffered an ankle injury during the game. The week's top story is Mahomes' injury, which has him listed as week-to-week. With a 3 games in 11 days stretch coming up, the Chiefs' playoff hopes could be in jeopardy if Mahomes misses more time. The number of teams mathematically eliminated from postseason contention on Sunday: the Carolina Panthers and Chicago Bears. The Ravens also have a player who doesn't feel contractually obligated to perform. However, W.R. Deontay Johnson was suspended for Sunday's game after refusing to enter Week 14's game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Baltimore hardly missed him. The number of turnovers, 3 INTs, 1 fumble, by Miami Dolphins QB Tua Tagovailoa in their loss to the Houston Texans effectively ended the Dolphins' playoff prospects. For A, the number of turnovers, 2 INTs, 2 fumbles, by Carolina Panthers QB Bryce Young in their loss to the Dallas Cowboys, ending the Panthers' playoff hopes. For B, the number of turnovers, 3 INTs, 1 fumble, by Tennessee Titans QB will leave us in their loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, hurting their already slim playoff chances. The number of touchdown passes thrown by Ravens QB Lamar Jackson on Sunday reaffirmed his status as a legitimate MVP candidate. The number of times Jackson has passed for 5 TDs in a game, a feat he's done twice in 2024. He also surpassed 6,000 career rushing yards, needing just 109 more to break Michael Vick's record. Speaking of MVP candidates, Buffalo Bills QB Josh Allen might have sealed the MVP race after outdueling Jared Goff's Detroit Lions in a 48-42 win. Allen threw for 4 TDs, 2 passing, 2 rushing, accounting for 430 yards. 7A. Allen became the first player in NFL history to have multiple passing and rushing TDs in successive games in a season. The number of times the New Orleans Saints sacked Washington Commanders QB Jaden Daniels, though some resulted from the rookie running out of bounds. Despite this, the Saints nearly returned in the second half, almost completing a 2-point conversion attempt in their 20-19 defeat. 8A. The Saints also got some help from the clock operator in the Superdome on Sunday. Saints RB Alvin Kamara became the 4th player in NFL history with 50 career rushing TDs and 25 receiving TDs, joining Christian McCaffrey, Marshall Faulk, and Lenny Moore. The number of turnovers, for by Levis, 3-3B Bengals QB Joe Burrow, in the Bengals' 37-27 win over the Titans. It was the most turnovers in a game in 17 years. The nuttiest turnover was by Bengals SS Jordan Battle, who prematurely celebrated a 60-yard fumble return and fumbled the ball himself. 11A. A similar fumble by Colts RB Jonathan Taylor later in the day had more fantasy and NFL playoff ramifications. In an unusually entertaining Bengals-Titans game, both teams combined for 49 first downs, 129 plays, 744 yards, and 26 penalties for 223 yards. The Bills-Lions game, however, was even more of an offensive spectacle. The teams combined 90 points, 58 first downs, 145 plays, and 1,080 yards, with both teams exceeding 500 yards. The Chiefs' 21-point margin of victory over the Browns was their most prominent of the season. The Chiefs' margin of victory in their previous 5 games was a combined 18 points. Raise your hand if you had the New York Jets' 32-25 win at Jacksonville as the most entertaining game of the weekend in a battle of 3 to 10 teams. Jets WR Davante Adams scored his 100th and 101st career TDs in the victory, recording 198 receiving yards, just 8 shy of his career high. Despite disappointing results in 2024, Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers has been playing well lately. Over the past 4 games, he has thrown 8 touchdown passes and just 1 interception, with a passer rating of at least 100.0 in 3. The Jets' 32 points were a season high. Rodgers had been urging the team to score 30 points per game, and they finally did. The Rodgers-Adams connection is starting to show flashes of their Green Bay days, but the Jets' playoff chances have evaporated too late for it to make a difference. The Jets sacked Jacksonville QB Mac Jones twice, though not nearly enough for the team's defensive performance to be noteworthy. Jacksonville DT Jeremiah Ledbetter executed a backflip after sacking Rodgers, an impressive feat for a 6'3", 299-pound defensive lineman. How good is Denver's defense? The Broncos had 5 takeaways and a TD, crushing the Indianapolis Colts despite their offense not breaking 200 yards. Don't discount Broncos OLB Nick Benito for Defensive Player of the Year. He has 11.5 sacks and returned a lateral 50 yards for a touchdown, though he was flagged for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Jonathan Taylor's fumble in the Colts' loss to Denver may be seen as the moment that ended their playoff hopes in a season full of mistakes. How good is the Los Angeles Chargers defense? Not as good as many thought, especially after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers put up 40 points and 506 yards on them in a 40-17 victory. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert's string of 11 interception-less games ended with a pick in the loss, even though he threw for 357 yards. Conversely, Buccaneers WR Mike Evans had his best game of the season with 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. He needs to average 84 yards over the next 3 weeks to extend his 1,000-yard streak to 11 seasons. Houston's Derek Stingley picked off Tua Tagovailoa twice in the 4th quarter, effectively shutting down Miami WR Tyreek Hill. Stingley's rise has cemented his place among the league's top corners. Titans rookie T'Vondre Sweat returned a fumble 51 yards, the most extended fumble return by a player weighing 350 pounds or more since at least 1991. Cowboys' Brandon Aubrey's disappointing sophomore season continued with a missed 70-yard field goal at the end of the first half, his 6th miss of the season. Congratulations to Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter of the University of Colorado, who might be a top 5 pick in next year's NFL Draft. As a multi-position player, it'll be fascinating to see where he lands and how many snaps he gets on either side of the ball.